Sean Devlin is one tough Irishman. A single Nazi bullet may have ended the life of his best friend, but Sean isn't going to succumb to death's waiting embrace nearly as easily. He absorbs rounds of German artillery like a plant sucks in sunlight, exhibiting an uncanny ability to regenerate his health in a way that would make even Wolverine envious. Despite the 1940s trappings, the dreary setting, old-fashioned weaponry, and funny European accents, the Saboteur has very little in common with World War II.
This is my country. Oh, did you abandon your conscience at the border? Does the need for justice end at some line drawn on a map?
The strange thing is, once you get over the obvious disconnect between the real war and this over-the-top betrayal, the Saboteur is a really good time. It may not make a lick of sense that you can single-handedly shoot your way through a burning Zeppelin, or dispose of waves of angry Germans with careless ease, but it's so much fun that the ridiculousness of the situation only adds to the enjoyment. If you can get over a few rough spots and erase everything you know about World War II from your mind, the Saboteur is a goofy reenactment of history's darkest days. It's a shame the story doesn't mirror the devil-may-care nature of the action. The cutscenes drip with drama, documenting the terror the Nazis are exerting on the precious City of Lights. It can really bring you plummeting back to earth after all the German shooting fun, when you're constantly reminded of all the atrocities being committed all over the city. The overly dramatic tale serves to further highlight the jarring disconnect between the ridiculous action and the depressing reality. The story may not be able to decide if it wants to be goofy or serious, but the intriguing atmosphere only adds to the experience. The Nazi-controlled portions of Paris are displayed in black and white, but certain objects have kept their color intact, creating an eye-catching effect. As you drive down dimly lit streets, orange windows pop right off the screen. When you free a section from the Nazis' clutches, color returns, giving you a visual reward for your actions. The Saboteur is an open-world game, letting you roam the streets of Paris at your leisure. Of course, wandering around a city teeming with Nazi soldiers is hardly leisurely. You will be attacked if you step 1 foot out of line. The German eyes are always watching you, so if you do something that could be construed as suspicious, such as climbing to the top of a towering building or sneaking into an occupied facility, you will have to deal with the wrath of the German army. Of course, it's so easy to strike down your enemies that it hardly matters when you rile them up. You have a variety of objectives given to you from rebellion leaders scattered all over the city, but your missions usually boil down into sneaking into a German-controlled compound and spilling as much tainted blood as possible. However, just because your actions usually revolve around sneaking, shooting, and driving, that doesn't mean the Saboteur becomes repetitive. Each facility has a unique layout and different enemy soldiers, giving every trip into no man's land a twist. Plotting the best way to approach each situation is a lot of fun, giving you a reason to scout buildings beforehand and decide the best way in. Sometimes you can just walk through the front door, laying waste as you tear down everyone in your path. But other situations require a lighter touch. However, the stealth elements aren't fleshed out enough, making it nearly impossible to remain undercover all the way through a mission. On the surface, your sneaking ability seems pretty cool. You can steal the uniform off the back of a defeated enemy soldier, letting you see what it feels like to dress like a Nazi. This allows you to walk right past sentries undetected, though if you get too close, they'll recognize you as an imposter and alert their colleagues. But at a certain point in the mission, your cover will invariably be blown and you'll be forced to shoot your way out. This isn't a bad thing since it's so much fun to strike down those evil Nazis, but it does feel like your options are limited. It would have been more interesting if you could choose to play through the whole game like a stealthy Saboteur, instead of one thirsty for blood. But at least it is fun to shoot enemy soldiers over and over again. When you aren't showing off your bullet-resistant skin to your Nazi enemies, there are a few other activities to partake in. The most satisfying side mission is the destruction of free play targets across the city. Nazi property is stationed all over town, and your job as the resident Saboteur is to blow these precious targets sky high. It isn't particularly difficult gunning down the 2 or 3 soldiers guarding these satellite dishes, petrol reserves, and other tools of terror, but it is satisfying planting a stick of dynamite and running like hell away from the impending explosion. There are also car races you can compete in, but the controls are pretty stiff, taking away much of the thrill of blazing through the Parisian streets. Through the course of your quest to free Paris from the Nazis' grasp, you earn perks that further improve your killing power. For instance, gunning down a few German soldiers in style unlocks a new gun for you to play around with. And that's really where the Saboteur shines. World War II is merely a backdrop to the gameplay. The action is over the top and always fun, even though the stealth elements aren't fleshed out quite enough to make sneaky sabotages a legitimate option. This isn't the most original open world game, but it feels a lot different from other World War II games out there, and it's a lot of fun to boot.